AI is now being used to cancel people for things they never said, Biden brings back net neutrality, JK Rowling's haters stay delusional, and a TikToker openly denies reality. All this and so much more is coming up on today's episode of Brad vs. Everyone, my new daily series where I cover the craziest things on the internet and in our politics from a center-right, independent perspective. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing and sticking around. If you're a returning viewer, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support, and do consider dropping a comment with your thoughts, because I read a couple comments in every episode to hear what you guys have to say about the show. Now, without any further ado, we have to talk about one of the craziest stories, one of the craziest cancel culture stories I have ever seen. So the short version is that down in Baltimore, an athletic director at a high school used AI to create fake recordings of a principal saying racist things and then got him fired. Now it's all come out and it's this huge scandal. Here's some local news coverage to help us get caught up.
Baltimore County athletic director arrested for allegedly framing his principal.
Baltimore County police say Dejan Darian created a fake recording of Principal Eric Eiswert, alleging it was in response to a school investigation into Darian. WMAR 2's Jeff Morgan leads off our team coverage tonight. Jeff.
Well, Jamie Kelly, this is a first-of-its-kind crime for Baltimore County. An athletic director, along with other staff members, sharing a fake recording of a principal disparaging black students at the school, causing chaos in the district. In mid-January, a recording of Principal Eiswert's voice talking to another administrator seemed to show him disparaging black students at the high school, questioning their test-taking skills. Eiswert was put on leave while the investigation was done, telling police at the time he believed Dejan Darian may have used AI to create the recording. His suspicion now supported by police.
It's been determined the recording was generated through the use of artificial intelligence technology. Through their investigation, detectives alleged Mr. Darian, who was the athletic director at the high school, made the recording to retaliate against the principal who had launched an investigation into the potential mishandling of school funds.
The lengthy investigation into Pikesville High School's AD detailed in pages of charging documents, alleging Darian made the recording using OpenAI, then edited it himself further, adding 2 other teachers received the initial recording in an email, one of them sending it to a student who shared it on social media.
With the charging documents, our team in Human Resources is going to follow up immediately.
State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger says his office has never prosecuted someone involved in using AI to commit a crime.
In fact, it's one of the first that we were able to find around the country.
Darian was arrested trying to board a flight at BWI when transportation police noticed a firearm in his luggage was improperly packed.
They ran the warrant check, and that, of course, the warrant in which we entered into the system last night that we had planned to serve today came back, and he was arrested, fortunately.
Now, currently, all of the staff members involved are still employed by the school, but Darian has been recommended for termination. Darian is charged with 4 separate crimes and faces a maximum sentence of 20 years and 6 months in prison.
Guys, this is so terrifying. The idea that your enemies in a community or your political rivals in the workplace or whatever could use AI technology to make fake recordings that are convincing to people that sound just like real life and frame you as if you are racist and then get you in trouble at your work and cause a scandal in your community. Holy crap. On the whole, I'm somebody who's very techno positive. Like, I actually think AI will, in the long run, be a good thing. We'll become more productive. Our economy will grow. Prosperity will increase for everyone. And I worry deeply about the push by government officials to regulate AI because they don't really understand technology. Most of them are like 90 years old, and they don't have the understanding of this stuff to write the rules without throttling innovation. So I definitely favor a very light touch, hands-off approach on most issues of AI. But I have to say, whether it's existing laws that can already cover this, like appears to be true in this case, or if there are some degree of new laws, we have to stop people from using AI to defraud people, to defame people, to just lie about people and ruin people's lives. Like, obviously that's not okay. And that's really dangerous territory we're heading into, where people can't discern between fake video and fake audio and the real stuff. Because for a long time we told people, don't believe everything you read, but if there's video, then you can believe that. And turns out that's not even true anymore, y'all. We also really need to improve our AI detection technology. Like, I'm sure the police have access to heavy duty stuff, but a lot of the AI detectors that will just come up on Google, if you Google, is this video AI, and you find some website, don't work. They detect things that aren't AI as AI and vice versa. We really do need something that everyday people can access and use that can reliably tell us whether what we're looking at is AI generated or not. And stories like this, they just make me so much more convinced in my existing beliefs about due process and not caving into cancel culture mobs right away. It's always been important to treat people accused of wrongdoing fairly, but in a time when people can literally create fake video and audio with a few clicks on their keyboard, that is more important than ever. That we don't rush to cancel people before we even know if things are true or false. We don't just believe all accusations that are made, and we take things calmly and respect people's due process rights. This is one of the first AI-generated hoaxes that we've seen in the whole cancel culture arena, but trust me, it will not be the last. So keep an eye out on this stuff and make sure you're not falling for anything that's AI generated. And remember, this is why we have the systems that we have, and we don't presume people to be guilty from the get-go. But what do you think? Does this honestly scare you as much as it scares me? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button. Now we've got to talk about President Biden, and because today is a day that ends in Y, this administration is doing something mind-blowingly stupid. We've got reporting here from Fox Business that the FCC is reinstating net neutrality. The Federal Communications Commission, FCC, on Thursday voted to approve a regulation that will reinstate net neutrality rules that allow the agency to regulate broadband internet access as a telecommunications service. Net neutrality rules were first imposed during the Obama administration in 2015, but were repealed in 2017 after the Trump administration flipped control of the FCC, which returned broadband internet to being regulated as an information service. With the Biden administration having returned the FCC to a majority of Democratic appointees, the agency is reinstating net neutrality rules that allow broadband to be regulated under Title II of the Communications Act. So here's the thing. Here's the reason I find this so incredibly dumb. I'm old enough to remember all the way back in 2017, I was working in political journalism and commentary at the time when Democrats, liberals, and the mainstream media predicted the end of the internet if Trump repealed these net neutrality rules. They told us that we would be charged $5 per tweet, that websites would be throttled, some websites, and others sped up, that we would live in this kind of digital dystopia if these important regulations were rolled back. My personal favorite was this tweet from the Democrats. If we don't save net neutrality, you'll get the internet one word at a time. Hashtag save the internet. Hashtag save the net. Hashtag net neutrality. CNN ran a news headline, not an opinion article, declaring this as, quote, the end of the internet as we know it. Oh, and don't forget Senator Bernie Sanders, who proudly declared that this was also the end of the internet as we know it. Of course, as you will all remember, basically none of this happened. None of the doomsday scenarios came true. It was all alarmism and panic over nothing. It always made sense that the FCC shouldn't regulate broadband internet under the Communications Act provision that was written before the internet even existed. And since we got rid of net neutrality, internet speeds have only gone up, and so has investment into broadband expansion, making sure more Americans get access to broadband internet, which was the main argument behind the deregulation, that it was really costly to comply with this extensive regulatory regime, and that cost was reducing investment. It's basically all gotten better, and none of the negative consequences have come true. So why is Biden reinstating this? Why are they doing this? There's no problem being addressed here. There's no economic reason to do this. They want to expand their regulatory grip and their own authority so they have more control over the internet and internet service providers. I hate to break it to you folks, but that is not how good government is supposed to work. They're supposed to be doing what's in the best interest of the American people, not whatever will give them the most power and authority. But what do you guys think? Do you disagree with me? Has your internet been throttled somehow because of getting rid of net neutrality? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button. Up next, it's time for DELULU Epidemic, my segment where I call out the people who are letting their stupid show. Today, woke JK Rowling haters have officially lost touch with reality. Remember, JK Rowling owes Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and Rupert Grint her entire legacy. She should be more grateful to them. Without their solid performances in the films, Rowling would just be another random children's author with a movie adaptation flop to her name. Bruh. Why is it that when you see these pronouns in the username or in the bio, like 99% of the time, you're about to see the worst take of your life? As the community note fact-checking this tweet pointed out, Rowling was already a global best-selling author before the release of the first Harry Potter film, winning numerous awards and topping best books lists since first release. Yeah, I'm not that old, but I am old enough to remember people waiting in line to get the books at bookstores and how it was already a huge phenomenon even before the movies started coming out. So this guy hates JK Rowling so much because of her views on trans issues, most likely, that he's just reinventing history to smear a successful woman now. Not very feminist of you, Mr. He/Him. Ironically, if anything, it's actually Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and these other folks involved with the movie who owe their fame and their success in part to JK Rowling. That's not to take anything away from their talent or the hard work they put in, but if not for her writing those books and them getting that opportunity in the movie, they wouldn't be the stars they are today. And neither of them have done a ton afterwards to kind of create a star, their own star outside of the Harry Potter universe. So on literally every count, this tweet is wrong and idiotic. So, Mr. Pronouns, your DELULU is showing. Up next, it's time for Brad vs. TikTok, my segment where I take on the craziest and cringiest videos from the Clock app. Get ready to lose some brain cells with me because this TikToker actually thinks that being DELULU, aka delusional, is the solution to life's problems.
This is why being DELULU is the Solulu. What you have to realize is if you keep thinking thoughts and speaking about and feeling into your reality as it has been, and even as it has been like 5 minutes ago, then you are not actually capitalizing on the fact that you get to create your own reality. And when do you create your own reality? Right now.
But you literally don't though, babe. You get to create your own perspective, your own opinion, your own value system, even to some extent your own perception. You don't get to create your own reality. Reality exists, and simply denying it doesn't change the actual facts of your life. For example, if you're 300 pounds, but you wake up every day and you deny that reality and you say, actually, I'm a thin, beautiful, healthy person, guess what, babe? The heart attack isn't going to give a about what reality you accept. It's still going to kill you.
So what you have to realize is how you're speaking to yourself, how you're thinking about yourself and your life, how you are showing up for your life right now. This is the most important thing. So when you put your blinders on and you stop paying attention to how life has been, you stop focusing on the circumstances that you don't want, you start feeling into speaking about and thinking about your reality exactly how you want it to be, that is when your reality changes so quickly.
Okay, so this is the part where maybe she kinda has a point if you replace the word reality with attitude. If your attitude is super negative and you're always focusing on the bad things and not the good things, and you're not forward thinking about what you want to achieve, that absolutely could be bad and it could be holding you back. But to frame it as reality is what I don't get, unless you're seriously saying that there isn't an objective reality and you just can create your own truth. Like, no, you can't. You can control your attitude. You can try to focus on positive thoughts, but don't delude yourself. That's what she opened with, right? Delusion. Delusion is not a solution folks. I know it's funny and it's fine to say that as a meme, like LOL, DELULU, but it's not okay to actually take this approach. And you see this a lot with the TikTok people talking about manifesting things. Like if you just think about it and dream about it a lot, it will happen for you. Like, no, babe, that's not how life works. And you're not helping people by giving them this kind of Fruit Loop crazy town advice.
This is my challenge for you today. Today, I only want you to think thoughts that align with the reality that you want to live in. I only want you to speak about your life as if you are living in the reality that you want to be living in. I only want you to feel into the feelings and hold the frequency of you who's living in your dream life.
Again, I really don't think this is even possible, first of all, because you can't control what thoughts you have. You can control what you do with them, but you can't control what thoughts you have. But two, you shouldn't only think or feel about things the way that you want them to be. You do have to think about things the way that they are, and then you can focus on getting them to where you want them to be. But in the current moment, you still got to grapple with the reality in front of you. There's also just something so like hippy dippy about the way they talk that it's like, I haven't struggled to even parse it, honestly.
If you do this for just 24 hours, you are going to be shocked at how much fucking magic comes into your life because you're no longer available for all of the bullshit that you were available before. You are grounding into a new state of being. You are anchoring into this new self-concept. And if you want to go deeper on this, get into my self-concept masterclass because I am giving you a step-by-step process on how to dissolve your old identity, the old thoughts, the old feelings, and how to create your new identity. The reason why my clients and my students have such big shifts so quickly is I don't play in time. I play in frequency. And when you show up differently, your reality has to change because you are the one that is creating your reality from the inside out. So go to the link in my bio and grab this masterclass because it's literally so fun.
So now this pisses me off for a couple of reasons. One of which is that she's making false promises to people, like magic will come into your life. Things will radically change if you just start thinking a different way. And that's kind of cruel because that's not necessarily true. And so you're giving people false hope. And then, and this is the part that makes this like not just a silly rant, but actually kind of sinister, you're using this false hope and all this hippy-dippy nonsense to try to get people to give you money. That's right. The whole thing about go to the link in my bio, sign up for my masterclass. This person is a grifter. They sell this nonsense, fairy tale thinking to people, and they sell them false hopes and false promises and take their money. Sorry, y'all, but I think that is not just stupid or cringe like a lot of the TikTok stuff we react to. I think that's actually pretty sinister. But what do you all think? Maybe you're on board with the DELULU train. I don't know. Let me know. I look forward to reading your comments. And don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even consider subscribing and sticking around if you haven't yet. And now, before we take a break for the weekend, I'll read a few of your comments from the last episode. One person says, as a business owner, a TikTok ban in the United States would rock my industry. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. I think people are underthinking about that aspect of the TikTok ban debate, that like thousands of people have built entire careers on this platform, and thousands of small businesses have built entire businesses with employees who have families to feed based on almost exclusively marketing products on TikTok. So people are going to be hurt badly by this financially as well. Another person says, even though it is against the First Amendment, I personally believe that TikTok should be banned solely because of how much it has played a part in ruining our society. So I get why you would feel that way, but I really encourage you to reconsider. One, I think TikTok is the symptom. It's not the disease, right? The problem is the DELULU and the extremism that's running rampant in this younger generation. And then TikTok is just the mouthpiece that they use to express it. I think you'll see very similar stuff coming out of Instagram Reels, for example, if TikTok gets banned, because it's not the platform that's the problem. It's the ideas and the thinking of the generation. And two, if you would cut down the First Amendment's protections to get at the stuff that you just really don't like, well, you're cutting it down and it won't be there to protect you. So I'm sorry, but I'm just not on board with that line of thought. Okay, somebody says, I'm munching popcorn from Australia as Brad and the rest of us lose brain cells, but seriously, that hair journey girl was quite obnoxious. Who goes on about their new haircut for that long in front of the world? Well, I'm glad you enjoy my pain, and it's really cool how I have viewers all over the world, and I'm glad the woke elites and government in Australia will still let you view my content, so be thankful for that for now. And yeah, I agree with a lot of these long TikTok diatribes. It's like, what I think you need, babe, is a diary, not to be broadcasting all this to the internet. Another person said, laughing at your pain is the best part of my day. Love you, Brad. Well, I'm glad it makes you happy, and hopefully that makes the suffering worth it on my end. Another person wrote, to all the people cheering on the ban on TikTok, the slippery slope is ideologically agnostic. This is a precedent, and it will lead to bans on the things you hold dear. Yeah, this is a really good point, and I hope that people don't have to live to regret it, but I fear they might. Another person wrote, I don't see how banning TikTok is a step against the First Amendment. Everyone is free to express themselves likewise in many other platforms available. I hear this a lot, but this isn't a very good argument why it's not a First Amendment violation. That'd be kind of like saying, well, the government can ban the New York Times because there are plenty of other newspapers that people can read or write for. Like, taking away people's choice of platform is part of their free speech that you're taking away. Another person wrote, your shows make my day, especially while I binge while at work. Keep going. I will, and thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm glad I can keep you company during the long work hours and hopefully brighten them a little bit. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. It's been so fun doing this all with you again this week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. And with that, I'll talk to you all again next week.